I didn't prepare a seat for strangers. It was Lisa's birthday. Suddenly, I realized there was one seat short and mentioned it to Emily, who was busy preparing dinner. However, it turned out that Emily did this intentionally. Despite it being a special occasion, Emily continued to harass me. Indeed, to Emily, I might be just a stranger. But I had no clue why Emily would treat me so terribly. The reason Emily hated me to this extent. Her determination to make me feel uncomfortable in such a situation was something I couldn't fathom, no matter how hard I tried. Honestly, it made me sad. I truly wanted to get along with Emily, but why did things turn out this way? I see. I quietly responded to Emily's words. Satisfied with my response, Emily snorted and went back to preparing dinner. Normally, I would have just quietly set up my own seat and acted as if nothing had happened, but that day, I was different. After talking with Emily, I immediately went to see a certain person. What happens next, I wonder? I couldn't stop smiling, thinking about the upcoming drama. My name is Amanda Thompson. I'm 27, a stay-at-home wife. My husband's name is Michael. We met through a friend's introduction. Michael has always been a very kind man, from the moment we met. That has not changed, from the time we were dating to even after we got married. Michael always thinks about me and makes sure we spend quality time together. I really think I'm lucky to be married to Michael. I have a brother named Max. We're close in age and used to fight quite a bit when we were younger. Looking back, it was really for trivial reasons, like me teasing Max and it turning into a fight, or Max eating my cake without asking, leading to an argument. Every time, our parents had to step in. I really think I caused them a lot of trouble. Max, however, was quite the model student at school. Especially in high school, Max had good grades and was even the club president. Max used to bring home a report card with high rankings at the end of each semester. Yeah man. I ranked really high again this time. What's with that tone? I'm jealous. How come you always do better than me academically when you're just lounging around at home? Maybe it's just natural talent, who knows? That's so annoying. I thought Max was just bragging about talent, but he must have been working hard in ways I didn't know about. As an adult, I feel embarrassed about how aggressively I reacted back then. After graduating high school, Max went on to college. After college, he landed a job at a pretty famous local company. Honestly, I thought Max could have joined a more renowned company. I wondered why Max didn't move away from our hometown. Why did you choose your current company? Once, curious, I asked Max this question. Well, I could have left, but ever since high school, I kinda wanted to work locally. There's no deep reason, but we had a class in high school about our town. That's when I thought I'd like to stay here. I never imagined Max would think that way, and I was genuinely impressed. Wow, that's impressive. I thought you weren't thinking about anything. Turns out you've been considering a lot. Cut it out. You'll understand someday, Max said, laughing. In so many ways, Max has always been very kind. When I told Max I was getting married, at first he said, "What, you're getting married? Are you serious?" "Wow, really?" and laughed. But when I moved out of my parents' house and started living with Michael, and during the wedding, Max was more concerned and happy for me than anyone else. If anything ever happens, come right back home, okay? There's no need to worry about that, my husband isn't a weirdo. But thanks. A few years after I got married, Max told me he was getting married too. I'll introduce you. This is Emily Johnson, a classmate from high school. We randomly met at a reunion and started dating after that. I'm Emily Johnson. Nice to meet you. Emily was on the shorter side with big, sparkling eyes, and despite being older, she had a very cute appearance. I'm Amanda, you have always been a big help to my brother. Amanda, nice to meet you. Emily was indeed very pleasant. As we talked, we got more excited, and before we knew it, it was getting dark outside. Well, I should be heading home soon. Thank you for today. No, thank you. Thanks for today, Amanda. No, thank you, and congratulations, big brother. Despite everything, seeing my brother Max happy makes me happy too. I'm not sure how we'll interact in the future, but at the very least, I want to maintain a good relationship. However, things took an unexpected turn. After their wedding, Max and Emily moved into an apartment near where we live. It wasn't intentional, they just happened to find a good place nearby. Because of this, our interactions with Max and Emily increased. We'd go over to each other's places for dinner or head out to the mall together. It felt more like a friendship than a family relation. Fortunately, Michael and Max got along really well, and it was obvious even to outsiders. Michael says they have similar hobbies.
Max is such a great guy. Honestly, I was a bit scared at first because I heard about troubles within the family. Really? Well, that's good. Yeah.
Michael laughed innocently.
Oh, can I go out with Max, just the two of us, sometime? Of course. Wow, you guys are close enough to hang out together now? Yeah, kinda.
Of course, I didn't force myself into a relationship with Max and his circle. I first got permission from Michael to interact with Max.
Max and all? Of course.
Michael himself seemed excited, but I guess Michael was also a bit scared of interacting with someone he hadn't known before. I could sense his slight unease. I know Max is a good person, but I wasn't sure how he would come across to Michael. I too felt a bit anxious about how well they'd get along. But in reality, Michael seems happy like this. Just seeing Michael like this brought me joy. However, at the same time, I felt a pang in my heart. Because Emily and I didn't get along well. We got along great when we first met and even afterwards. But gradually, Emily started distancing herself from me. I began to feel this distance about 2 months after Max and Emily's wedding. It started when we were discussing what to cook for dinner at my house while having Max and Emily over.
Emily, what should we have for dinner tonight?
Usually, Emily would reply with a smile, but that day, something seemed off. Emily wouldn't meet my eyes. More like, she seemed desperate not to.
Is something wrong? No, nothing's wrong.
Oh, okay. It couldn't be nothing, but I felt it was wrong to pry further, so I stopped the conversation there. However, Emily's attitude never improved. Initially, I thought Emily might be feeling unwell, but it didn't seem to be the case. The way Emily looked at me became sharper day by day.
About tonight's dinner. What is it?
Her sharp gaze made me flinch.
Well, I was just thinking about what to make for dinner. Anything's fine, isn't it? That's not.
No, you decide, Amanda. I don't want to bother.
Oh, okay.
Emily's attitude had clearly changed from when we first met, and I was confused.
So, how about curry and rice for tonight?
That's fine. Emily seemed eager to end the conversation with me. I picked up on her intent and started preparing the curry. Every time I met Emily and she was harsh, I couldn't help but wonder if I had done something to her. Said something unpleasant? Done something annoying? No, none of these seemed right. Honestly, I had no clue. That's why I couldn't understand why Emily was being so harsh. And somehow, I felt there must be another reason for her change in attitude. About half a year after Emily's behavior started changing, it was still the same. No, it had gotten even worse.
Amanda, what's up with this dish? It looks seriously unappetizing. What?
Emily started complaining about my cooking, even though she hardly did anything herself. The ingredients are all over the place, and it looks bland.
Doesn't it look unappealing? I thought it was the same as usual.
Are you serious? Are your eyes okay? I was honestly quite irritated.
If you're going to complain that much, why don't you try cooking by yourself next time?
Ugh. That's a scary thought, Amanda. But Emily didn't change her attitude, even when I got angry. On the contrary, Emily kept making provocative comments. I thought many times about discussing this with Max and Michael. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. The reason was that Emily always acted so nicely around them.
Tonight's dinner is meat and potato stew. Amanda made it. Looks delicious. That's great. Thanks, Amanda. Amanda is really amazing. She can cook delicious meals and is great at other house chores too. I really admire her. Oh, thank you.
Max and Michael looked at Emily with smiles. I tried to smile along, but my expression must have seemed awkward. If I spoke up about Emily's terrible behavior, they might think I was lying. Losing their trust was the last thing I wanted. I thought if I kept enduring without telling anyone, Emily would eventually calm down. However, even as I kept it to myself, her harsh words and attitude didn't stop. Emily complained about my cooking being bad, yet she never did anything herself. Emily hardly helped with cleaning up, but was quick to complain about any dissatisfaction. I could understand being complained to at Emily's house, but she seemed intent on criticizing me at my own home too. Whenever we had dinner at my place, Emily started making various complaints.
Amanda, are you serious with this seasoning? Got a problem with it?
By that time, I wasn't just going to take it anymore.
No, but what's with that tone? Just imitating you. Imitating me? Are you mocking me?
I'm not mocking, but...
You're.
Emily bit her lip and glared at me.
Stop mocking me. It's really unpleasant. Shut up. A woman like you deserves rough treatment. So uncool, not pretty, with a bad personality. I can't believe someone like you is part of the family.
I knew she disliked me a lot. But I couldn't understand how she could say such harsh words. If she disliked me, she could just reduce our interactions and keep distance. It's sad to think you've been feeling that way about me.
Who do you think you are? I really can't stand you. Hey! Are you okay?
As Emily and I were arguing, Max came in from the living room.
I heard loud voices.
No, it's nothing. Just dropped some groceries. Right, Amanda? Yes, that's right. Sorry for the noise.
Okay.
Max heard our words and went back to the living room. Neither Emily nor I wanted to involve Max and Michael. After that, neither Emily nor I changed our feelings or ways of interacting, and a tense atmosphere continued between us. However, 6 months later, I heard some good news. Emily was pregnant with Max's child. It was still a few months before the baby would be born, but they were in the safe period and feeling relieved. Since Michael and I didn't have children, I felt somewhat refreshed by the news. After Emily got pregnant, she stopped going out on weekends, and our interactions were limited to occasional dinners when Max and Emily visited our home. I hoped Emily's attitude would calm down a bit now that she was expecting. But that thought was quickly overturned. The first time I met Emily after hearing about her pregnancy, even though she must have been physically strained due to the pregnancy, she consistently treated me terribly every time we met.
Unlike you, Amanda, I have a baby in my belly, so it's hard.
It's so tough.
Oh, is that so? Maybe you should rest in the living room?
No way. If I leave you to cook, who knows what kind of monstrosity will be made. I have to supervise. Supervise, huh? Also, just so you know, you can say whatever you like as usual, but I won't be hurt by anything coming from someone who can't even have one child, like you.
Oh, is that so?
Michael and I weren't particularly eager to have children. We had feelings about showing a grandchild to our parents and in-laws, but our desire to have a relaxed life as a couple was stronger. When we talked about having children, Michael agreed with my view, so we remained childless.
What is that reaction?
Can't respond? As always, so uncool and dumb. I wondered what Emily really wanted from all this. It felt too tiresome to engage further, so I decided to ignore her. Months later, Emily and Max had a healthy baby girl. They named her Lisa. The first time Michael and I met Lisa, we couldn't help but say how cute she was.
Right? Doesn't she have Max's big eyes? But she does kind of have Emily's vibe.
The two of them seemed happy talking. After that, considering the challenges they might face, our interactions with Max and Emily became more frequent again. With Lisa around, the atmosphere between Emily and me softened, and somehow I felt more at ease. Even if Emily disliked me, she seemed to behave better in front of her own child. If Emily was improving her attitude, I had no intention of causing any trouble. I just hoped that Emily's focus would remain on her child, putting an end to our petty quarrels. But my wish didn't come true. A year after Lisa was born, her first birthday arrived. We decided to have a small birthday party. It was just a small-scale event. It was just the 5 of us, Michael and I, and Max's family. We gathered from the afternoon of the party day, went shopping at malls, then headed to Max and Emily's house to prepare for the party. We set up decorations that Lisa would like and prepared the food. We were making steady progress with the other necessary preparations.
I'll take these to the table. Okay.
As I carried some plates to the table, I noticed something odd. Observing closely, I saw that there weren't enough chairs. Thinking Emily simply forgot to prepare a chair, I asked her about it.
Emily, we seem to be short on chairs. Where are they kept?
I planned to get a chair and then get back to preparing dinner, but Emily's response was unexpected. Oh, that's for your seat. You don't need one, right?
My seat.
Was Emily intentionally not preparing a chair for me as a way to annoy me? But why now? I thought her attitude had settled. While I was still confused, Emily added insult to injury with her remarks. We don't prepare seats for outsiders.
Outsiders?
Yes, outsiders. You are an outsider, aren't you? I was baffled. At the same time, I realized Emily's feelings towards me hadn't changed. So it is. Seeing that I accepted her words, Emily snorted triumphantly and returned to preparing dinner. Normally, I would have just prepared my own seat and joined the party as if nothing happened. But not today. As soon as my conversation with Emily ended, I went to someone. Hey, can I talk to you for a second?
Huh? What's up?
The person I referred to was Michael. Can we go somewhere to talk?
Yeah, sure. Max, please take over for a moment.
Michael left Lisa with Max and followed me. Sorry for the suddenness.
No, don't worry about it. But what's up?
Michael looked at me with concern in his eyes. There was no turning back now. I told Michael everything about what had just happened and all the things Emily had done to me in the past. It was okay if Michael didn't believe me. I just couldn't endure it any longer. However, Michael was surprisingly straightforward.
Should we go home?
Yeah. Surprisingly, Michael accepted the situation easily. I felt relieved. Looking at Michael again, he met my eyes and nodded slowly. After that, we picked up our things and headed home. On the way, my mind was filled with a mix of relief that I had finally talked to Michael and guilt for ruining Lisa's birthday party. I'm sorry for causing trouble. I apologized, and Michael, who was driving, chuckled.
Why are you apologizing, Amanda? It's Emily's fault, isn't it? Well, I never thought Emily would do something like that.
Why did you believe me? I could have been lying. I accidentally asked something unnecessary. I should have just nodded along with Michael's words, but what was I doing? But Michael smiled again and said,
Sure, I didn't think Emily was doing anything terrible. But I can't imagine you lying, especially not a lie that disparages someone else. As your husband, it's unthinkable for me not to believe you. And I'm sorry I didn't realize what was going on sooner. I want to apologize properly when we get home.
It wasn't his fault for not noticing. I had been trying to hide it. Hearing Michael's words, something touched my heart, and I started tearing up. During a stop at a traffic light, Michael noticed my teary eyes and, smiling, handed me a tissue.
Don't worry. I'm here for you. Thank you.
How dependable Michael was. Touched by his kindness, I cried. Looking at the clock, I realized it had only been 3 minutes since we left Max's house. Just as I thought they might not have noticed our absence yet, my phone rang. It was Max. I answered the call and immediately put it on speaker so Michael could hear.
Hello? Amanda! What's happening? Where are you?
I'm heading home.
Home? Why?
Sorry. I just can't be around Emily anymore.
Why?
I'm tired of Emily's attitude. Today, she didn't prepare a chair for me, saying I'm an outsider, and didn't even tell me where the chairs were. I couldn't celebrate Lisa's birthday in a good mood. Sorry for being selfish. I thought Max would believe Emily over me. But Max's response was unexpected.
Wait, were you two arguing loudly before?
Eh?
You know, that time in the kitchen when I checked on you, and you said you dropped some groceries.
It took me a moment to remember, but after Max explained in detail, I realized. Indeed, there had been such an incident. I was surprised Max remembered it so well. Well, we did argue that time too. We lied because we didn't want to be noticed.
Really? So Emily has been like this since before then?
Yeah, pretty much since you two moved in. Ah. Max sighed heavily on the other end of the phone. I feared Max might think I was lying or that I was the one at fault, but it seemed he had no intention of blaming me. I'm really sorry I didn't notice earlier. Can you turn back so we can talk? I asked Michael, and we decided to return to Max and Emily's house. I wanted to have a conversation and express my desire to no longer be involved with Emily. I thought this would be the last time I'd have to endure this. A few minutes later, we turned back and arrived again at Max and Emily's house. Nervously, I pressed the doorbell with trembling hands. But there was no sign of anyone coming out from inside. Pressing the bell again yielded the same result. Wondering what was happening, I cautiously opened the door, which wasn't locked, and entered. As I walked slowly, I heard loud voices from the living room. It sounded like Max and Emily were arguing.
Why are you saying that? I just forgot, okay. If you forgot, you should have prepared it. Amanda said there was one missing, right? And if it was just forgetting, you wouldn't have called her an outsider. I don't know about that.
When I opened the living room door, their arguing became clearer.
So you've been harassing Amanda for a while now. I haven't. What does that have to do with now?
They noticed us entering and turned their gaze towards us.
You. What nonsense are you telling Max? I just forgot about the chair. You intentionally didn't place it, right? Because you thought I didn't need a chair since I'm an outsider? Everyone keeps saying outsider this, outsider that. It's annoying. But isn't it true? Why are you pretending otherwise?
Emily seemed quite agitated. Apparently, Emily didn't like that I had talked to Max and Michael and was desperately making excuses that she just forgot.
Anyway, I've been saying I'm not at fault. It was just forgetting. Why am I the only one being blamed?
Emily was trying to assert her innocence. However, based on her past behavior and actions, both Max and Michael looked at her with somewhat cold eyes.
Enough, all of you. Annoying, annoying, annoying.
In a tantrum, she started to cry out beyond control. When Emily was about to break a plate she had grabbed, nearby Lisa began to cry. Realizing her mistake, when Emily tried to console Lisa. "Be quiet. Why are you crying, you brat?" Emily yelled at Lisa.
Hey! Emily! Everyone's just getting in my way. Shut up!
Lisa cried even louder at Emily's shouting. It was only natural. I tried to soothe Lisa, but she didn't stop crying.
Ah! Enough! Be quiet! Make that kid stop crying!
Emily seemed to have completely lost her composure. She probably couldn't bear being blamed and exposed for her misdeeds by those around her. In this situation, it was unpredictable what Emily might do to Lisa. Leaving Lisa in such an environment was dangerous. I asked Michael to immediately take Lisa to another room.
Hey! Where are you taking her? You're unpredictable right now. It's dangerous to leave Lisa near you. Why did you grab that plate earlier? To smash it on the floor? Is that something a child should see? That's right. Calm down. And just so you know, Amanda has told us everything. Huh? Everything. Yeah. It's not just this time, right? You've been harassing us since we moved here.
Emily froze at Max's words. But Max continued speaking without waiting for her response.
Is that really true? Honestly, I didn't want to believe it. I never thought you were the kind of person to do such things to others. But after hearing what you've said and seeing your behavior today, I think it might be true. If I'm misunderstanding something, please tell me.
Max spoke slowly, as if trying to reason. Listening to Max, Emily, who seemed to have calmed down a bit, dropped her shoulders and stared quietly at the floor. Do you know everything?
Yeah.
So?
You admit it, then?
Yes. I was surprised Emily admitted her actions so readily, as I had expected her to deny and argue more.
Why did you keep doing such things? Because I didn't like you. What? Because I didn't like you. That's it. You being Max's sister and acting all high and mighty. I hated everything about your attitude. Ah. You were angry because I'm Max's sister? Yes. Is that so wrong? I really love Max, but whenever he talks to you, your face keeps popping up in my mind. I've wished so many times that you would just disappear.
I couldn't believe Emily had harbored such feelings. But now, complaining about my being Max's sister was pointless. Given her attitude, it was clear Emily would have found fault with me no matter how good a person I was. The shock of her unexpected confession left everyone speechless, with a heavy silence hanging in the air. Breaking the silence, Max spoke up.
Emily, let's get a divorce. What? Divorce? Wait, why? Why? Because you've continually insulted Amelia for selfish reasons, and even called your own child a brat. On top of that, you demand someone else to stop her crying. As a mother, and even as a person, that's just wrong. It's a joke, right? Divorce. No. I don't want to be apart from you. You think I'm joking at a time like this? Maybe some men would defend their wives no matter what, but I can't. I never thought you were such a selfish person. I'm disillusioned. No. Absolutely not. I don't want to be separated. Don't you realize what you're saying? It's always about what you want, harassing Amanda because you felt like it. You've been saying things like that the whole time. That's the problem.
Max said coldly. Emily didn't want to accept reality and kept resisting, but after realizing Max's resolve was firm, she stopped arguing and continued to cry. In the following conversation, the divorce was officially decided. Custody of Lisa went to Max. I had heard that custody usually goes to the mother, so I was relieved that Lisa wouldn't be raised by Emily in that state. Initially, Emily claimed she wanted custody, but eventually, she gave it up. Probably realizing she couldn't handle it. Regardless of the reason, if Emily had custody, it could have been problematic in the future. Half a year after the birthday, Michael and I were living our usual life. Max seemed to be doing well, living happily with Lisa. Since we meet at a similar frequency as before, it's nice to see Lisa frequently. She's so small now, but she'll grow up quickly, and before we know it, she'll be an adult. It's a profound thought. During the divorce, they arranged for child support, and Emily has been sending a fixed amount every month. I don't know what kind of job she's doing now or how she's living. But I do know she's returned to her parents' home. Whether Emily's feeling down or still thinks she did nothing wrong, only she knows. Anyway, I'm happy that I can live freely, unlike before. I hope to continue this happy life, always grateful to those around me.